Hello guys. I'm just gonna get prepped here to make another ornament today, another peaceful pinning with you guys. I am planning to do a ribbon and fabric ornament together today. So yesterday we did a basic star that was entirely made from wide ribbon, but today I'm gonna do one that is a mixture of fabric and ribbon. Hey Kelly, it's good to see you here again. And I'm just prepping up some rectangles for this one. This is going to be the ribbon that I put with it. So I'm going more for a country vibe today. Yesterday we did the shimmery red and green and gold. I guess I need to sharpen get a different blade here. I wish I could sharpen them. It'd save some money. Okie dokie. And let me put this aside. I'm going to use scissors to cut the ribbon. Put a better backdrop in, please. I feel like the red mat is a little bit harder to see everything on, so okay, so this is going to be my main material for this one. See, I don't know if I'm going to have enough on this roll, but I do have a backup roll here. And this is wired, but it's a really soft wire, so I'm going to cheat and use these scissors. Let me just see. I don't think these are going to cut this very well, but you never know. Oh, that's okay. All right, I'll use these. I'm just going to cut the first 8 for now. No, these are not working that great. The other thing I'm not really sure about is if I'm going to take the wire out. The wire is kind of soft. It's not quite as soft as the wire in the ornament that we made yesterday, but yeah, I'm thinking I might take it out first. I think that's going to make it a little bit easier to make this, and also just to not have the wires poking out like after the fact, which can happen. Hi Laura. Laura said, what size fabric square should I use to make a 4-inch ornament? You don't really have to go that much bigger, and I use rectangles instead of squares. So for a 3-inch ornament, we do the 3-inch long rectangles. You could go up to 3.5 or 4 inches, but the reason you don't really have to increase it that much is because you'll usually have to make more layers with a larger ball. So you'll just add more layers. If you really want to keep the same amount of layers on a 4-inch ball, then you'd have to make the pieces like 4 inches long. But personally for me, I just prefer adding extra layers because I think that looks a little bit better. But this particular pattern is easy to experiment with, and you can do lots of different things. You could do more layers, or you can spread them out and have less layers. It really just depends on your fabrics and how you want it to look in the end. If you've got a large print, then that would be a really good opportunity to show off the larger print and go with the bigger pieces and less layers. Hopefully that all made sense. You are very welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my red fabric because that's going to be my base color, my accent color. And yesterday we did an ornament that was entirely ribbon, and we used the edges of the ribbon as, like, instead of folding over the top edge of the fabric, we would use the edge of the ribbon and let that be part of the design. I'm going to do that with the ribbon here too, but we're going to mix it up now by doing some folding with the fabric. And for people who are watching this live stream after the fact, please keep in mind that this is not meant to be like a full step-by-step tutorial of this pattern. It's more meant to just be kind of like, you know, make along with me or watch, or, you know, just get inspired to make your own. However, if you want to make this and you want the step-by-step instructions, we have lots of videos on the channel that give step-by-step instructions, measurements, everything that you need, even printable resources like supply lists, templates, things like that. Callie asked, just 2 colors today? Yes, I'm gonna stick with just the 2 colors. I'm gonna do 2 layers of each one on each half. Hi Gretchen, it's good to see you again. Gretchen said, hello, love the peaceful watching you make this. Thank you, Gretchen. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad to hear it. I'm kind of having fun getting into stuff that I haven't gotten into for a while, like my ribbon stash from at least a decade ago. That's been really fun to go through and decide what I want to use for fun, just to make an ornament for fun with you guys. Okay, layer 1 is good to go already. I need a little thing to hold this. I'm going to use this, even though it's got sequins in it, I'm going to use that to hold my ball. And I want to start with my smaller pieces of these ribbon pieces that I cut for the first 4. I just think it's easier. Cut them all pretty even, to be honest. Okay, I'll use, these were the 2 smaller ones. Okay, so we're gonna see how this works out. I didn't get the wire out of that one. I took the wire out of this, so we'll see how this folds. It's been a long time since I used this ribbon, and I can't really remember how easy or difficult it was to work with. So we shall find out together here. It looks like it has kind of a loose weave on the edge, so I'm going to have to be careful I don't pull it right off of the pin. I really want to try to keep one line down the center like usual, but it's going to be a little bit of a difficult balance because I've also got to put the pin, I think, pretty close to the edge on this one so it doesn't pull through this loosely woven ribbon. Callie said, these videos are so relaxing to watch, and Stacey, your voice is just so soothing to me. Callie, thank you. That is a really nice thing to say. Hi, Carmen. Connie said, wish I could finish, but it's time for cardiac rehab. I'm sure it will be pretty. Connie, we will be here when you get back. At least the replay will be. And good luck at your appointment. Gretchen said, I finished my second ornament last night. It turned out really nice. I did Christmas fabrics. That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear it. They get easier too, right? So you did your second one, and I'm sure that probably seemed a lot easier than the first one. Hopefully. Hey, Suzanne. I'm glad that you saw that I was live. I'm glad you're here too. Laura said, I just started making these, but I've been putting photos on one side. Oh yes, that you're printing it on fabric, right? It makes it such a nice personalized gift. Gretchen said, yes, the star pattern with 3 colors instead of 2. Okay, that's great. I'm really happy to hear it. I can tell already that the hardest thing with this one is going to be keeping a straight line. We're just making it look like a nice one straight line down the center of these triangles with this ribbon, because this ribbon is a little wonky to work with. And we were talking about it yesterday, but the neat thing about using the ribbon with the edges like this is that the edge itself can be so pretty in the ornament, but it also makes it's very prominent. So you gotta try to do a good job keeping it really even. I caught my cat jumping up here a little while ago, and so I'm imagining that there's going to be some cat hair appearing occasionally through this video today. Laura said, yes, on fabric, great Christmas gifts. They do make fantastic Christmas gifts. Hey, Phil, good to see you again today. Gretchen says, your team got my order figured out. Thank you so much for helping me with my quantity. I'm so glad to hear it. You are very welcome, and thank you for the order. You got the larger quantity of the discs, correct? I believe that was the one that you asked about yesterday. And are you planning to make the Prairie Point pinwheels? Nope, that's not good. I'm going to use 2 pins on this. I just cannot. I don't know what is my problem with this piece. I just can't seem to get it looking the way I want it. Like, I'm trying to do the overlap here, but then it's not straight, and ugh. This ribbon's a little more difficult to work with than the one that we were using yesterday. Gretchen said, yes, I am making Prairie Point pinwheels. I have the fabric all pressed and ready. They're really fun, Gretchen. I hope you enjoy making it. We do have a couple of other patterns right here on the channel too, that use the discs as well, if you want to try any of those out. We have some cute little patterns for the discs. One of the ones I want to do here on a live soon is our gingerbread, little gingerbread face ornaments. They're really cute. But I love making the prairie point pinwheels. Gretchen, if you go to the videos tab and just scroll through, you'll see all of the like well, most of them are like the full pattern tutorials that we have, but actually now that I'm thinking about it, we also have a playlist, and I believe the playlist is called Ornament Workshops, and that is where you definitely can find all of our full step-by-step patterns. All the freebie ones that we have. Shirley, you got cut off, but I think you're asking about the prairie point pinwheel, and yes, we do. We have that pattern right here on this channel. Hi, Debbie. Debbie says, good afternoon, catching you live. I just received my order yesterday, so I will be getting busy soon. I'm giving my family homemade ornaments for Christmas, giving on Thanksgiving so they can use this year. That's a great idea, and I'm so happy to hear it. I hope you enjoy making them. Laura said, looking beautiful. Kelly said, I like the plaid ribbon. Thanks, guys. You know what? I like it too, but it's a little bit more difficult to work with than I was expecting. I'm not sure if I would have picked this for today if I would have realized how hard of a time I was going to have with it. But we're going to keep it real. I'm glad I did a solid red fabric though, because it's pretty busy. So I feel like the solid red is going to help to, I don't know, just kind of ground it a little bit. It's busy between the plaid and the red edges. Shirley, if you go to the channel, go to my channel and then find the playlist called Ornament Workshops. I believe that's what it's called. If it's not Ornament Workshops, it's something really, really similar to that. Or you can just go to our videos tab and scroll through all the videos, but you'll see the video for a prairie point pinwheel. I think the icon is like blue and yellow, because I believe that the ornament I made for the tutorial for that is blue and yellow. Or you can search for prairie point pinwheel tutorial. If you search YouTube and not on my channel, then make sure you add no sew to it so that you get ours, because prairie point pinwheels is a sewn thing usually. Let me widen this out just a bit. This is a little wonky, guys. It's a little wonky. Hopefully side 2 will go a little bit better. This might have been one of those instances where I should have had my tape measure out. Look at, it's really, that's funny looking. Maybe it won't be as obvious how wonky this star is on camera. Debbie said the solid red makes it pop. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping is gonna kind of happen here, especially with this layer I'm about to do. So I'm starting over one of the first 4 pieces from that last layer. This fabric is much easier to work with than this ribbon. Hey Robin, it's good to see you today. Robin said, I love the gingham, so cute. I saw it sitting on the shelf and I was like, that's the one I want to do today. I want to go in that kind of more country vibe, but I'm still going to keep it festive. I've got some really cute ribbon to put with this. I found this red kind of velvety, it's a single faced ribbon, but I found this that I had gotten from Joanne a while back, and I think it's a good color with this. And then something a little different, but I think it'll dress it up a little, is I have this snowflake. So the tan color is really similar, but then we're gonna add a little glitter to the top too. So I think that'll be really cute. This fabric is so, I don't know where I got this fabric. It's been in my stash for forever, but like one side almost feels a little fuzzier than the other. I don't know what kind of fabric it is. I don't know if there's like supposed to be a good side and a wrong side or what. Hopefully it doesn't matter. Okay, first 4 of that layer are done. I'm gonna do 4 more. Debbie said, I always think of gingham fabric as nostalgic. My first sewing project was yellow gingham, and I've been sewing for over 55 years. I love that. It does have kind of a nostalgic feeling to it. Anything country like this, I always feel like it's very country. It reminds me of my house growing up, especially like during my preteen teen years. My mom made a lot of our decorations in our house. She was really into sewing and stuff like that, and I loved that stuff. In fact, every time there was a change of seasons, there would always be a day where my sister and I would come home from school and the house would be totally like transformed into that season's stuff that she had made, and we looked forward to that day so much. It would be like for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for Easter, Valentine's Day, all the things. I loved it. And she had a very country style, so it was really neat. That bounced right back into my pen bowl. I dropped it and it bounced right back in. I was actually struggling a little bit with the red fabric. I had a couple shades of red fabric that I was trying to put with it, and there was a shade of red that was really close to the one in this ribbon, which you can maybe be able to see in the camera, but it's a little bit more muted. But when I put the two beside each other, the whole thing looked really drab. So I ended up liking this little bit, teeny bit brighter red with the ribbon a little bit better. And I was kind of nervous about it because I was like, maybe it'll be too bright. But now that it's coming together, I do think it looks okay. Phil said, my mom taught me to hand smock using gingham. It was fun. That's super cool. Debbie said, do you have a book that has multiple patterns in it for your ornaments? Not yet. I've kind of been tossing that idea around. We have 3 books out now, but they're all individual. We've got the basic star pattern, the prairie point pinwheel, and the peekaboo pumpkin. But each book is one pattern. Oh, time to cut some more ribbon out for this. And of course we have all of our digital patterns where you can get a digital ebook in the shop. One of the ideas I've been tossing around is every Christmas time we do a bundle of patterns. It's been, for the last few years, we've done 5 patterns and then a bunch of variations and things like that. And we thought it would be really fun to make a book out of those. So each book having like 5 patterns in it. I think that'd be really fun, and plus it'd be pretty. Gretchen, you found Ginger. I'm so glad. Isn't that cute? That was designed by our Ornament Girl designer, Sherry. She designed that one. And it's a good use for the disc shape foam. Little gingerbread cookies. Debbie said, I heard you talking about the gingerbread as I joined, but I missed it. I collect gingerbread. We're talking about a gingerbread pattern that we've got right here on the channel. It's one of our freebie patterns, and her name is Ginger. So if you search for the Ginger tutorial on the channel, you'll see it. It's really cute, and it uses the disc-shaped foam. It's a nice, simple little pattern. So we have like our quilty type patterns. For those of you guys who have maybe just recently found this channel, we have our quilty type patterns like this that are, based on the old-fashioned no-sew stars from back in the day. But even our new unique patterns that we've created, they all kind of have that like quilty vibe like this, made with folded fabric and stuff. But then we also have a bunch of patterns that are, they're not so much patterns, they're more of a project with fabric. They're still no-sew, but like we have the different characters like the gingerbread and stuff like that. We just like to have fun with fabric, especially little pieces. It's a great way to use up your scraps. And it's neat because as our team has grown here at the Ornament Girl, we have several designers now, and everybody has their own style. Everybody on our team has their own style for designing all these different patterns. Like Darlene, for example, she kind of specializes in the quilty ones. Sherry's kind of a mixture. She does the quilty ones, but then also does some of the characters and stuff. I mean, Tanya too. Tanya does some of the quilty ones too, but Tanya definitely delves into the characters and stuff like that a lot more. So it's fun because we have like a little bit of everything. Yeah, this side's definitely gonna, well, I don't want to say definitely because I guess it's possible side 2 could be worse, but this is gonna be my off side, I think. This is the practice side. At least when these are hanging on the tree, you can usually only see one side at a time. So that's the good part about it. Gretchen said, I have fire department fabric ordered. We both belong to our local fire department, and I think they will be a big hit. Definitely. Gretchen, you know, another one that you might want to check out is the snow globe tutorial, which is, it's like this. It's a basic star like this, but instead of making folded fabric in the center where the star is, you can do like a picture in the center and then do a star around it. So that would be a really great thing for like a fire department emblem or anything like that. And earlier, somebody had mentioned doing the photos on fabric and stuff, and those are perfect for that too. Carmen, aka Yaya, said, I loved how you just rolled with this side of the ornament. Thank you. I kind of realized I didn't really have a choice because I was like, this is going to be a little difficult. This ribbon is not the easiest. Gretchen said, I saw that pattern. I love it. Oh, good. It's never ending with all the patterns. So I'm sorry in advance. It doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. Yes, that's true. I know I've said it a lot of times, I'm like a recovering perfectionist. It still gets me. But I always try to say that in my tutorials because with making these, especially if it's like the first time someone's making it, it can be easy to get caught up trying to be perfect. But yeah, it's not a good thing to do because they are still beautiful even if they're not perfect. And people are always still impressed by them too. Like when you give these as a gift to someone who's never seen them before, people are always like, wow, you made that? That must have taken so long. Pin too high on that one. Let's lower that down a little bit. I think I'm gonna pin on this side. Let's try that side. Debbie said, I love how interactive you are with your live audience. Thanks, Debbie. You know what? I didn't plan, well, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen when I started doing these. So I kind of figured I wouldn't talk very much, but I really love doing the interaction. I think it's so awesome to talk to you guys. I really wasn't sure anybody would talk to me, to be honest. So I appreciate you guys talking to me and asking questions or just telling me what you think. I'm really enjoying doing this. I did miss Monday, but my goal is to try to hit every weekday and jump on here. And I know I was saying it yesterday, but I'm going to try to get into a better schedule once I kind of find my stride with doing this. Hey, Terry. We've been sick since April. Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. But haven't been up to doing much of anything. I only have one ornament, number 1, done on the challenge, but I'm going to try to catch up. I believe 14, and watching you here just makes me want to get back into it even more. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's kind of why I'm doing this, because I'm hoping to inspire, first of all, people who have never made one. I'm hoping to inspire to try it, but then also if you have fallen out of making it, just to kind of motivate you and give you ideas to make more. So I'm happy that you feel like that's doing that for you, but I'm certainly sorry to hear that you've been sick for so long. I hope that things start to get a little better for you soon. And the challenge, by the way, don't feel like you have to do all of them. It really is just meant to be a fun way to make these and give you a little motivation. So just pick the ones you like and do those. So I'm going to start side 2 here. I want to make sure that I start so that it lines up, like the under pieces line up with the under pieces over here. So I'm just taking a look to see where I'm at, and that means looking at side 1, that gives me this spot to start side 2. And if you're new to this and that seems confusing, we do go over this in a lot of detail in the step-by-step tutorial, which you can find on this channel. Carmen said, me too. I love the interaction and staying connected. This is my therapy. Love it. Thank you. I love it too. I've had the idea to do these lives for a long time, but I just couldn't. I don't know. I just didn't start. I was a little nervous to start too, of course. Going live is a little scary. But after doing a few, I look forward to it now every day. This has been great. Let's straighten this one out just a little bit. I was thinking that something that might be fun to do one day soon is a UFO day. UFO being the unfinished objects that are floating around my craft room. I've got a whole basket of ornaments that are either half done or maybe they're all the way done except for like the bows and stuff and the embellishments. And I thought maybe one day I would just bring that bucket over here to the desk and work on those with you guys. Maybe get your opinions on how I can finish some of them. Because otherwise they may just keep sitting there. You know how it is though, right? Like, I don't know why I do that, but I know a lot of us do it. I'll be all into one, I'll be all into an ornament, but then for some reason I don't get it finished, and then it just sits there forever and ever and ever. Because like, you get on to the next thing. right, time for some more ribbon. These scissors are struggling with this ribbon. Yes. Yep, I have some too. Jana said I have at least a dozen UFOs. Could definitely use a UFO day. And then you finish them and you're like, why didn't I do this before? It only took a few minutes. We'll do the first 4 before I take the wire out of the other ones. I'm getting towards the end of the roll, so the pieces are really curly. The pressure's on now because I feel like I gotta make this side look a lot better than the first side. This is gonna be my good side. Already though, this first piece is like, yeah, we'll see about that. Debbie said, I just finished making all of my homemade Christmas cards. Congratulations, you're early. Finished a quilt of valor and working on another quilt for Quilts of Valor. And quilts are a big project. I have a few UFOs too. I don't know how to quilt. I don't even know how to sew. I really would love to learn how to quilt one day though. Gretchen said, I'm a quilter, card maker, and have many UFOs. I think it's just a curse of crafty people because, like, you know, our brains are just always trying to move on to the next thing, too. You know, there's so many things, so many ideas, not enough time. Robin said, I've been making Christmas cards on the embroidery machine. Oh, wow, that's neat. So much fun. I'm a quilter as well. That is really cool. So, like, you're embroidering on, like, a certain type of paper, like cardstock or something like that? I had done a little bit of embroidery years ago. In fact, I did a little bit for the Center of Ornaments. And I really liked it, but my embroidery machine finally died a couple years ago, and I've been wanting to because I had just a little basic embroidery machine. I mean, I actually bought it at Walmart. It was so basic. Oop. See, that's the thing I was worried about happening all along. My pin head is trying to peek through. And I'd really love to just learn like more involved embroidery and get a nicer machine, because I just think it's so cool. Cardstock, okay, that's neat. Struggling with this one, you guys. I'm gonna go a little off center from where I was because I sort of wallowed out a hole in the middle there. And since this is one of the first 4 pieces of this layer, it's gonna get, I don't need as much reach with this piece. All right, I think that's gonna work. It's a little wonky, but I think it's gonna work. Debbie said, Robin, that is one of my next projects to try. Thanks for the inspiration. Robin said, inside the hoop takes a bit to put together, but so worth it. So SEW, worth it. It's something to challenge myself with. I'm always looking for something new. It sounds really neat. All right, so far we're doing okay, I think, with this star. Let's see how this pans out. Sometimes you have to go a little off the line that you created because it's just not like centered. Robin said, I think I bought the patterns from OESD. Callie said, I had to jump on a meeting for work. It's looking really nice. You just got off the meeting, or you have to go on to the meeting now? If you gotta go, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Oh no, it's not. It looks like you're still here. That's good. Robin said, I love it. Debbie said, are you pulling the wire out of the ribbon? Yeah, that's what I was doing. It's a really soft wire, but this is a really loose weave ribbon, and I was afraid it would poke through eventually, like on the bottoms, like poke through. So that was the main reason I did it. It is, I think, would have been soft enough to fold pretty easily. But yeah, sometimes it'll just like poke through at the bottom, and then later on, after you're like done the ornament, it'll start poking through your layers, which I don't like it when that happens. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does. Callie said, I would have never thought to use ribbon until I saw the live video yesterday. I'm so glad that I'm so glad then that you saw the live because it's really, really fun. Okay, cool. So you get to watch the rest of it then. I'm glad you're here. Debbie said the KS Robin. I am familiar with OESD. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Robin. You guys, it doesn't help that I can't see very well. I've got my glasses on, but I still can't see very well. So I'm assuming that OESD is a website that has patterns. I think this side is better than the first one, but maybe not by a lot. This one piece in here I feel like should have been a little closer, but it's not. I think this side's probably a little better than the first side. At least it's a little bit less, I don't know, wonky. Okay, so although I don't really have to because my next layer is going to cover the ends, I'm just going to trim a little bit these little bits that are sticking up just to help reduce some of the bulk, because this is a little bit of a bulkier ribbon with these edges, so I'm just doing a little trim. And now we'll do our last fabric layer. Okay, yes, OESD is for embroidery. Susanna said, love, love, love the OG. I was a member and due to finances, I had to suspend my membership, but Saturday I can rejoin. I am so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. Can't wait to see you back in the group. Handmade by Diana said, good morning. I just finished making 6 of these yesterday. All right, your fingers must be a little sore today then. That's amazing. I'm glad you had fun with that. OESD stands for Oklahoma Embroidery Supply and Design. Sorry guys, I'm getting like stuffy. Great embroidery designs. Robin said, yes, that's the place. So here in Florida, it's actually dropped into the 50s, like in the, in the middle of the night and in the early morning, which is freezing for us down here. In fact, I think we even had a morning a couple of days ago that was like 49, which is probably why I'm a little sniffly, because I've been down here now for how long have I been down here? 21 years, I think. And I am very acclimated to the Florida weather. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, so you'd think that I'd be able to be tough with cold weather, but nope. Diana said, yeah, a thimble would have helped. Thumb's a little numb now. It gets easier though. If you keep going, you'll build up some calluses and you'll be good to go. Gretchen, I was wondering the same thing. Callie said, I'm excited to join OG as well. I just got my first Christmas Club box this month. I've been busy making ornaments for orders, and I haven't had a chance to do the ornament for this month. Well, the good thing is it won't go anywhere. It's there waiting for you. So you're making them for orders? That is amazing. Hey, Julie. Julie said there's a fire coat pattern too. Okay, an embroidery pattern. Callie said we're going to get a big cold front next week. I'm further south than you, and it's going to be in the low 40s next Tuesday and Wednesday. Where are you at, Callie? In Florida, if you don't mind saying. I heard, oh, I must have missed a pin over here. I heard we were getting more cold weather. We had that little front last week. It was a couple days. I loved it. I mean, I enjoy the cool weather, especially after a long, long, long hot summer. Oh, that's right. We talked about that. You're in Northport. Sorry, I'm trying to turn off my volume on my phone really quick. Because I used to live in Port Charlotte for a very short
Sorry,
time.
there was a problem.
Siri's like trying to talk to me now. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. I think I missed. Oh, Debbie said, so OG has a club for a monthly membership. Do tell more, as I am unfamiliar. I'd be glad to tell you more, Debbie. Thank you for asking. So we have a couple of different clubs, but the one that we have opening up this weekend is the original club. It's actually the 10th anniversary this month of that club, and what we deliver is a new pattern every month, and they're club exclusive patterns. They're not anything you're going to find here on YouTube. And with each pattern, you get a video tutorial that takes you through it step by step. And you also get an ebook, which is really detailed. We go through every single step, showing photos, written instructions of every single step of the ornament. And then any templates or anything like that that you may need if needed for that pattern. And then also with that, we have a private Facebook group for sharing pictures of your ornaments, and just chit-chatting about ideas for ornaments and things like that. And it's a really fun group. So we're celebrating 10 years this month. I started it in November 2015. So that's really exciting. And we do keep that club more of like the quilty type patterns, more of the traditional style. We don't really do the characters and stuff like that in that club. We also have a tier in that club where you can get a kit, but that's not opening right now. We opened it a couple months ago actually, and it was the first time we had opened that one up in a couple of years. We don't open it's called the VIP tier, and we don't open that very often. The other club that we have, we just opened last month, and it won't be open again until the beginning of the year, is the Christmas Club, and that is less about like a new pattern and more about the kit. So we do a kit every month, and it's all Christmas all year, and it's really fun. And we reuse pattern, like we kind of go back through patterns that we've already done before, because we have a lot. As you can imagine, 10 years of new patterns, we have a lot of patterns. And that's just those club patterns. We've got a whole library of other patterns too. We got the ones here on YouTube, and then we also have a library of patterns that we sell on the shop. But yeah, the club is really fun, and it's I think it's the best club that we have as far as just getting a taste of all the different patterns and kind of what we offer. And it's really nice because you can use those patterns with your own fabric. So a lot of you guys are quilters and sewers, and you have tons and tons of fabric already. You don't necessarily need a kit with all this stuff. And it's a great way to use up all that fabric, especially your scraps. Phil said Monday night it's supposed to be 35 in Panama City. Wow. That's cold. That's practically snowing. Kelly said tons of fabric. Yes, see, I mean, lots of us have tons and tons of fabric. And the kits are awesome. Don't get me wrong. They're fantastic. All the stuff's pre-cut, ready to go. A lot of people love getting the kit. But doing these patterns with your own fabrics is a great way to get through your own fabrics and your scraps and just try out all sorts of different holidays and themes and color combinations. And as you can see, there's lots and lots of different things that you can do with these ornaments. And our Facebook group is awesome because people share all the things that they do with all these patterns. And a lot of times people post things and I'm like, I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought of doing that theme or using those colors or whatever. Suzanne said, can't believe it's been 10 years. Time flies so fast. I know. I can't believe it either. And it just kind of hit me the other day that it was 10 years. I didn't even realize it. Debbie said, so the patterns are included in the monthly subscription along with the fabrics. Well, we have the 2 tiers. The only one I'm opening up this weekend on Saturday, wrong scissors, is the digital option only. It's $13 a month and it doesn't have any physical product. It's no fabrics or foam or anything like that. So it's $13, but it's the pattern, all that digital stuff that I was telling you about a second ago, and the membership in our Facebook group and stuff like that. So no fabric for those. I don't know when we're going to open up the kit version, the VIP version of this again. Probably not for a good while. So this is like a weird piece and there's some yellowing on the end there where I guess it was taped to the roll. So I'm just going to like cut off that piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good thing I have another roll here. That would have been an awful way to end it, huh? Guys, I can't finish this. I have 1 piece to go and we can't finish. Robin said the digital club is awesome and it's where I go may start with ornamenting. Maybe you meant I would start. I'm not sure what you meant there. The kits are fun, but I like sourcing out my own stuff. Exactly. I agree. And a lot of our members that are digital members, that's exactly the same thing that they're thinking. It's just fun to try out different things. We always like to show lots of examples of things you can do with the pattern. You know what, you guys? I don't even have the November pattern here with me, but I'm going to grab it from the shop tonight and I'll show you on the live tomorrow our November pattern. It's my favorite one of the year. It's absolutely beautiful. We called it the Winter Windmill. And it's beautiful. You know what? I might see if I can... No, I can't. I can't do that unless I set it up ahead of time. I was going to see if I could show a picture and like show my screen, but I'd have to set that up ahead of time with my software. However, I might be able to show you on my phone real quick. Let me see if I can dig this up. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. I'm just going to my website because we have it on the blog. Okay. There's like a 10-second delay, so I don't know yet if I'm actually in the screen. Here's what our November pattern looks like. It's really pretty. Lots of options with that too. Like you don't have to go with a peppermint theme like we did for the main version that we did. Down here, I've got a couple of other examples. Here's a red, white, and gold one. And we have a Halloween vibe. Same pattern, just different fabrics. Here is a spring vibe. And then a patriotic. I love red, white, and blue. Love, love, love. So yeah, this is the November pattern, and we're opening the club on Saturday. It'll be open for a couple of days, and then we will not open again until sometime in the beginning of next year. Debbie said, I have a fabric stash as a quilter. Yes, it's a great way to use up your fabric stash. Julie said, I have so many UFOs. I appreciate how you have always rolled with it. It's not about perfection as long as you've been doing the mistakes. Yeah, the mistakes happen. I'm glad you guys like it. I know it's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite one of the year. So pretty. It's festive. I like the traditional vibe of it, you know, the pinwheel look of it, but I feel like there's a lot of room to, oh, I think I forgot to take the wires out of these. There's a lot of room for different color combinations and themes and stuff like that. That totally turned into a sales pitch. Sorry about that, guys. I get excited. I get excited about our club. Oh, I know what I did. I took the wire out of 4 of them, but not these 4. Here's my other one sitting over here. I threw to the side to get my phone. Jana said that red, white, and gold for November was stunning. It took me a hot minute to even realize what pattern it was. Yep. And it's funny because so many times people will ask, like if they see a pattern but in different colors than what we've previously shown, people say, oh, what pattern is that? And we're like, it's the same pattern. And it's funny how different colors and different fabrics will make patterns look so different. It'll be the exact same pattern, but it looks so different with those different colors. And I know a lot of you guys are already on my email list, but that's why we started the Inspire series, which is an email series that I've got, where we just send an email every morning with a different idea for like color combinations and stuff. Because people would always be asking, like, what pattern is that? What pattern is that? So I thought it would be a fun way to just show people new ideas for patterns they already know or may already have. Gretchen said gorgeous. Thank you, Gretchen. Julie said, I'm a quilter also. I make quilts for a hospice agency. Oh, that's beautiful. Debbie said your info is appreciated. It's okay to sales pitch. Thanks, Debbie. Diana said, I think the hardest thing is to figure out what color combo you like. I think I spent more time pulling mine apart as I did putting them together. I know. Picking colors is actually one of the most difficult things, I think. Because, and it's not because you can't see what colors look good together, because we can, but then you go to put it together on a pattern and it looks completely different than what you expected. That happens to us all the time. And I've made some expensive mistakes with fabric ordering, because when we order for our kits for the club, we have to order like hundreds of yards way in advance so that we have enough to fulfill all the kits each month. And there's been time, and a lot of times with the fabrics, when you have to order them way in advance, like they're not even actually out yet. The reps will come and show us pictures of the fabrics, basically, or even just maybe a swatch or something like that. So we'll order way in advance because we have to. It's the only way to get a lot. But then they come, and I'm like, what I thought looked good together, we're like, yeah, that does not look good together. Like, that doesn't look anything like what we thought. And that's happened. So we'll have like a couple hundred yards of something, and we're like, what are we going to do with this? We got to figure out something to do with this. Usually we end up finding something else that it looks great with. But the combo that we initially thought, and when I say we, I'm mostly talking about me, because I'm the one who has notoriously made some big mistakes with the fabric ordering. Yeah. We're like, okay, we need to figure out a new plan for this fabric. And then other ones we'll get, and we will only get a little bit, thinking you know, that it's just okay, or maybe we don't need a lot of this one fabric, and we get it and we're like, why did we not order more of this? It's beautiful. I've been feeling like that a lot the last couple of years, because it seems like, especially with like our main manufacturers that we order from, it seems like they've really cut back on the Christmas and like the glittery fabrics or the metallic fabrics. They really have dialed those back in the last couple of years, which is really disappointing, because those are the ones I love the most. Debbie said, I'm learning about your channel and loving it. Thank you, Debbie. That makes me so happy. I appreciate that. Gretchen said, I'm working on a butterfly quilt. I donate one a year to our fire department that we belong to for a fundraiser. That is a very lovely thing to do. Callie said, yes, it's hard to find the glitzy, fancy Christmas fabrics. It's amazing. We've talked to our motor rep about it a couple of times, and he said, I don't get it either. I don't know if it's like a cost thing. I mean, I know things have gotten, I know our supplies have, the prices have just gone up so much. Things are a little bit more difficult to get these days. They take longer. Still though, it seems like those are the ones that are the most popular around the holiday time. But maybe it's just us Christmas people. I'm too close to the edge on this one. Do you typically remove the wire from your ribbon every time? No, not every time. I would say a lot of the time, yes. It depends on how thick the wire is. If it's super thick, like not as pliable, I do remove it because it's harder to fold. Sometimes some have a much softer wire, or it's hard to remove, and those I will leave in. I would say probably 80% of the time I remove it. This one, the wire in this one actually it's not very thick, but the reason I'm still removing it, it's not very thick. You can see it's super bendy, but the reason I'm removing it anyway is just because the ribbon itself is so loosely woven that I'm afraid it's gonna poke through later, like poking out the ends. So I kind of play it by ear and see what I think will work the best or be the easiest to work with. Gretchen said, hard to buy fabrics now with so many closing. I know. We were talking about that the other day on the live, about like Joanne closing and stuff. It's sad. We are doing another sales pitch incoming, guys. We're doing fabric bundles. We've been doing it for about a year or so, where we put together like a set of 3/4 yard pieces of fabric that we have already pre-matched for ornaments. We are doing that in the shop, and that a lot of our ornament girls have found that helpful because they're pre-coordinated. We show examples of ornaments made with them. Still though, with that said, it is really, really hard to buy fabric online because it's like you have to touch it and feel it to really get an idea of how you're gonna like it. We were thinking about maybe doing more video of the fabric, like actually showing the feel of it, and like just, I don't know, I feel like a video would really show that better than just a static picture. So maybe that'll be coming soon on the site. And a lot of the fabric places online, they use like a digital picture of the fabric. You can't tell from a digital swatch. I feel like it's hard to tell what it looks like. Yes, Gretchen said, I love seeing it in person. Yep, I agree. Callie said, do you use wire ribbon for your bows? If so, do you leave the ribbon in? Oh, the wire. That also is depends on like how easy it is to work with. And the truth is, a lot of our ribbons do not have, like our bow ribbon does not have wire. Like this doesn't have any wire. I would say I probably use wired ribbon for the bows rarely. And when you know what though, let me back up a little bit. When I do use it, like a wired ribbon, yeah, we usually leave it in because you're using like a longer piece to loop it and it's harder to pull the wire out of that. But for these smaller pieces, it's easier to pull it out. Does that answer the question? I feel like I'm giving a lot of, well, sometimes, sometimes I do this, but it really is kind of dependent on the situation and the actual ribbon. I think that's what's going to be really fun about doing these streams is that you can see like individual instances of things, you know, like specific situations and materials that I'm using, and just see kind of how what I'm doing with it, and hopefully that'll help. Okay, so I've just got that trimmed up, and I'm gonna cut another piece of this ribbon to wrap around. And I'm trying to decide here if I want to include the edge or take off the edge. There's a couple of different things I could do here. I could maybe cut the edges off and just make this like a piece of fabric basically and fold it into thirds and have it look like this. So it's just the gingham. But the other thing that we could do here is fold it so that the edge is part of it. So maybe like running down the center, if I can get it centered. I actually think that would be pretty cute. It's a little bit, it's a little busy. But I could do it like that too. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do it like this with the wire edge showing? Is that too busy, or do you like that? Or should I cut that off? And maybe I could even get away with not cutting it off. I could just do it like this. It depends on how, if it makes a bump. Or do you like it without the edge showing? Debbie said all the questions asked by viewers really helps the rest of us too. Yes, I agree. I think that is really, I love answering the questions too, guys, so keep them coming, please. Carmen said that looks good with the wire edge. I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, this is like clean, so I like that too. But I kind of like using that edge as part of the decoration. Florence said, what about a solid red ribbon or fabric? That could work too. I was sitting here even thinking if I wasn't feeling lazy about getting rid of my board here and getting my mat back out, I could cut like a red band. I'm going to show you just to show you what that would look like. Like putting a red band here and then doing this on top. That could be nice too. Okay, we have, I like the edge showing, Kelly said. And Carmen said it's different. Yes, with the wire edge showing, right? Wire edge is good, but a solid red piece of fabric would be good too. Yes, different from the norm for sure. The red band would be nice. You guys are going to convince me to do the red band, aren't you? I'm going to have to move my board here and get my mat back in view. You know, the only thing that's stopping me from having the red edge show is the busyness, but with a red band down first and then this on top, I think it would break that up and it wouldn't look so busy. So maybe we'll give that a shot. So I just have to cut a band I wonder if I can just do this with scissors instead of getting my cutting stuff back out. I've got my fabric sitting here. I think I'll just scissor cut this because I'm too lazy to move my whole table around. Okay. We'll try the blend, and then if it doesn't look good, we can always just take it back off, right? Let's go. I'm gonna cut on the inside of this. Jill said, how long have you been doing the peaceful pinning? I found them yesterday. This is probably only my 8th or 9th one, if that. I just started it recently. I might be a little off camera right now, you guys, and if so, I'm sorry. I will be back in camera in just a second. Carmen said, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna attempt this and see how it looks. Okay. There's like a good 10-second delay, guys, so hopefully I'm back in the camera view now. I can't tell yet. I'll know in about 10 seconds. This is the bad side. Look at that star. That poor star. Tammy, that works for me in the shop, would call that a bless her heart star. Okay, so the trick is to get the right width here. I don't have a ton of width here between my two halves, but I want it to be wide enough that it shows with this on top. So I'm gonna try to go a little wide. This is a little bit wrinkly too, but I think that wrinkle is gonna get covered up by the ribbon. So as long as the edges are nice. Jill said, do you have a set time or when you have time? I'm enjoying it. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm enjoying it too. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much. I love it. I don't have a set time yet. I'm still kind of trying to get my footing with it. I was gonna do today earlier, in fact, and it just didn't happen. I had a couple of things end up happening that I wasn't expecting. I'm hoping that as I get used to doing this each day, that I will start finding a rhythm and be able to do more on a schedule. So stay tuned, and hopefully I'll have some more info about that in the coming maybe week or two. Hopefully by then I'll be getting into a rhythm. Right now, the only kind of thing I'm trying to say, the only thing I'm committing to really is that I want to try to do it Monday through Friday. But I am super happy that you're enjoying it. Kelly said, putting the band on brings out the OCD in me. It takes a few minutes to get it perfect. I know. I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on that. All right, we'll see how this looks with this on top and if I got the right width. And I'm going to go with the wire edge showing now because I feel like it's broken up a little bit. I think I like that, guys. That was a good call. Now it's just a matter of getting this straight. And since I'm running a line down the middle, I gotta be extra perfect about it. I want to try to get this as thin as I can. I'm going to give this a good couple of pins up here because this is such a loose woven ribbon. I want to make sure it stays in place. And let me move this off center just a little bit, because in a minute you guys will see we're putting a bow up here. There's going to be a few pins going in and I don't want to hit that pin. Trying to keep that gingham straight. The edges not being perfect are driving me crazy. I'm trying to not be a perfectionist because I don't want to take 20 minutes to do this. But I can see myself maybe going back and trying to make that perfect after this. It's so hard with. Guys, any of you who have never done this before, don't let this part be scaring you off, because I promise this is probably one of the more fussy bands that I've ever done. Whenever you use like a check or a gingham or something with like a really set print like this, it's a little bit more hard, like difficult, or stripes, things like that. Usually it's like that, the fabric band is much easier. Kelly said, I like it. Gretchen said, I saw the bird pattern. I'll have to try one. Oh, yes, I had forgotten about the birds when we were talking about the disc patterns. And you know what's funny? I was talking about our designers and saying how, like, Darlene usually sticks to the more quilty ones. But you know what? Darlene designed the birds. So everyone kind of does a little bit of everything. That looks sensational. Thank you. Kelly said, welcome to my world. Yeah. Looks great. I like it. Fussy band looks fabulous. Thanks, guys. Look, I got thinner. I got thinner as I went, apparently, because look, the two ends are not matching each other. We're going to go with it. I might look at this later and be like, yeah, that needs to get fixed. Especially up here, like my little wire is not centered anymore. Oh, I might have to fix that right now, guys. Just a little bit of finagling here. The red edge at least needs to be, I think, centered, even if the gingham is not perfect. Okay. We're going with that for now. Maybe mess with it a little here on the placement. And I'll cut off the excess. Look, I got a little pin head is showing through there. Okay. We are ready to move on. I feel like I could sit here and pick this apart for a long time, so I'm going to try to not do that. And we'll do some bows. I'm grabbing a drink really quick. I did forget to get myself something for the hanger, so let me, I'm taking a peek to see what I have. I might just use a piece of ribbon for the hanger. I have some string around, but it's all like sparkly and I don't really want, oh, I wonder if I read. Let's see. Oh, I know. I just thought of this. This might, I don't know, that might be a little too country. We're going to see. If this doesn't look good when we get to that part, then I will just use ribbon. We'll see when we get to that part. I'm going to start with this red, kind of velvety, like a fake velvety ribbon here. I thought that'd be a fun texture to add to this. The only thing that's kind of difficult about this ribbon is it's a single-faced ribbon. So I can't do my regular looping and pinning thing with this. I think what I'll do is I'll do the gift bow style of bow. So you guys who haven't been with me for very long, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Instead of just looping and pinning my bow, I'm gonna make myself a couple of small pieces. I think I cut this about 7 inches. We'll do one more. We'll make this a nice fluffy bow. Suzanne said, there you go, looks better. Perfect. Thank you, Suzanne. I don't know if it's perfect, but it does look better, I think. Thank you. The bow will really bring it together, Kelly said. Gretchen said, love this one. This one was a journey, huh? I think I'll do these one at a time because it's kind of thick. So I'm just going to pin down through the center of these 3 pieces of ribbon. Oh yeah, that's thick. So what's really going to be fun about this is getting the next bow on top of it. I'm going to be challenging myself with this one. I like how it looks though with the gingham. I think it's really pretty and festive. I hope I can get my next bow down on top of it. And then I'm just pinning all the ends back now. Just looping each of those ends back onto the pin. I was gonna say I'll show you the loop and pin version on the next bow, but it just occurred to me that my other ribbon that I've got is also a single-faced ribbon, so it's gonna have to be made the same way. Okay, there's one. Yeah, I'm a little nervous, guys, about pinning this other bow on top of that. Whoa, I'm off center. I think I might have to put this off center and put my other bow so that my other bow can be centered. Or we might have to do away with that velvet because it is like really thick. I don't know if you guys can see how thick that is just from the top of my ornament there. So here's my other one. It is also single-faced. So I'm going to cut a couple more strands of this, but I'm going to go a little smaller so that my loops end up being a little smaller. I think I will go to about 6.5 inches for this one. Robin said, gift style bow is my favorite. This is my favorite bows to make, Kelly said. Yeah, it takes away the eyeballing and makes it really easy to get even consistent loops. The other cool thing about it is you can mix different ribbons together in the same bow. Robin said, yeah, the velvet is thick. I sometimes use it just for the band. Yeah, I might have to I might have to rethink this. Gretchen said, I learned so much here. That makes me happy, Gretchen. I'm really glad. All right, guys. Oh, look, I did it. It went through. That was way easier than I thought. Let's see if I have that same luck with my hanger. I am not sure. I'm not sure about my hanger. So I was thinking I could do like a hanger like this. But the truth is I kind of took this in a little more festive direction with these ribbon bows. So I may just do a ribbon hanger. I can either do the twine string, or I could just pin a loop of this on top. What do you guys think? So I got that. Or I like the thinness of this twine, so that's kind of why I love using that, or some sort of string. That does look cute. I don't hate it. What do you guys think? The twine or the ribbon? Carmen said, I like that. Robin said, that's cute. Debbie said, love, love it. Thank you. Kelly said, I like the twine. Yeah, it is the same color as the top ribbon. I might be leaning to the twine, towards the twine too. At first I was like, I don't know, it might be a little too country, but I'm liking this vibe of a little bit of these different, like a mixture of these different textures and a little tiny bit of glitter on this ribbon with the country vibe. Okay, and we have Robin said, I like the twine. Dara said, hey Dara, I think this is the first comment I've seen from you. Thank you for your comment and your vote, twine. Suzanne said, what about the red velvet one? I can show you. Here's the red velvet. That's pretty too. I missed, Jill said up above, I really like the multicolor bows. Yeah. With the gift bow, and you can do those multicolors together, it really adds a lot. I think, guys, I'm leaning towards the twine as well. I like the color being a match to the top ribbon here. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think this was the good side, right? Let me see. Well, I can't tell. They're both a little wonky there. At least it's kind of busy, and it's, if you really got to be looking at the star to see. It's just a little off. Let's see. What do I want to pin this on with? I like the idea of adding a little more bling up there, just a little peek of it. But I need something substantial to hold this on. I wish I had a red diamond pin up here, but I don't. I'm in the middle of kind of building up my supply of stuff up here in my house. My office and my studio used to be in the shop, but we ran out of space. I had to like move out so that we could store more stuff there. By the way, I just did a little beaded pin. So I'm slowly building up a little craft stash up here that I can just pull from. And I don't have everything here yet. But yeah, that one's going to be tough. We'll use some fabric as a cushion. Carmen said, I like the velvet. Debbie said the variety of texture is nice. I agree. That's one of the things about ribbon too, like even doing the whole ornament with ribbon. I love adding all that texture. Suzanne said the twine better. Okay. Gretchen said twine. Yeah, it's cute, right? I'm happy with that. Really happy with that. That came out super adorable. I appreciate the input, you guys. That's pretty much it. I don't really know if I want to do any other decorating with this, like beads or anything, because I don't really feel like it needs a lot of sparkle or bling, other than I like the little touch on top. But yeah, since it's so busy, I feel like the pattern itself and the edges of the wire is really kind of what is the star of the show here. So I'm happy with this just like it is. And then also the textures. That's kind of like the focus, I think, for this. That's it, you guys. Another one in the books. It went so fast. I really appreciate you guys like giving me your input and telling me what you liked here, and also asking me your questions and your comments and stuff, guys. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. I'm aiming for, what's tomorrow, Thursday? I'm gonna aim for a little earlier tomorrow, maybe like 11 a.m. ish. Don't hold me to that. Don't be mad if I don't get here on that exact time, but that's what I'm going to go for. If you're in the Ornament Girl Facebook group, I'm going to post it there before I go live or right after I go live, so you guys will know. But But yeah, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and that you hit the notification bell so that you can get notifications when I go live. That is not foolproof. Sometimes YouTube won't give you the notification, but it helps. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I had so much fun talking to you. Have a good rest of your day. Happy ornamenting.